got some arms, some rear arm, a wing mount, change the diff housing. So this is a rear diff, is full set of 70-75 aluminium hinge pin braces for the rear, titanium skid plate for the KRATON 8S. So I'm really looking forward to installing that. We're going to get some good sparkage coming up. Alright guys, welcome back. We've got the KRATON 8S on the bench, guys, and unfortunately this thing didn't fare too well last time I was out with it, and you can see my rear wheel is a bit crooked. So we're going to be repairing this thing, and guys, I've got something much needed upgrade for this KRATON 8S especially, something that hopefully is going to help resolve all the issues that I'm having with these rear pins breaking all the time. And I've got something a little special as well that's been sent to me, and I want to try that out, and I can't wait to give that a little go as well. So guys, the KRATON, as you can see, she is all jacked up at the back. Let me get the lid off and I'll quickly tell you what happened. So just at the back here, guys, you can see there my arm had broken and the pin as well had bent as well. So we're going to be replacing the arm, we're going to be replacing the pin today, guys, and you can see there my wing is detached as well, so got a new wing mount for that, so that should be quite simple to do. But guys, getting quite annoyed with breaking pins all the time, guys. Every time I'm out with this thing, I don't think I've had a full pack out of without breaking a pin or bending a pin. So guys, today I want to quickly go over the repairs that I'm going to be doing. So we've got some arms, some rear arms there, we've got a wing mount, so that's all good. And guys, something that I did have a problem with, which I've just realized when I come to put this thing back together the last time I was out with it, is my screws that hold the rear hinge pin brace have stripped out, and that hinge pin brace has got movement in it, hence why we ended up breaking this arm and bending that pin as well. So guys, we're going to have to unfortunately change the diff housing. So this is a rear diff for the KRATON 8S, and it comes with some brand new bearings as well. So we'll be installing them, and obviously these, and something that I'm really looking forward to installing, guys, here it is. This is the custom RC upgrade package that's been sent to me by Lee Wood. Thank you very much, Lee. Super stoked about getting these things. So what we've got here, guys, is full set of 70-75 aluminium hinge pin braces for the rear, and these come as a full metal block. He also sent me something just hiding behind these labels and stickers. This is a titanium skid plate for the KRATON 8S, so I'm really looking forward to installing that. We're going to get some good sparkage coming off that, guys. And obviously we have to replace a pin as well. So originally I had the M2C pins all the way around here. I have broken this pin at the back a few times, and I've just been changing them out for some RTR pins. So I've got another one of them just to get through today and get this installed done. So anyway, guys, that's what we're going to be doing. Oh, something you can see right in this corner here, guys. Got a bag full of goodies there. That bag full of goodies, including the ex-fire team chassis, which I have bent back into shape now, will hopefully go onto my KRATON 6S EXB. I'm hoping to make this thing a long wheelbase now. Again, we've done some repair work on this. I did break, I think, some of the diff housing on the rear, so I've replaced that now. So this is all good to go. I have been doing some other wrenching as well, unfortunately. The xmaxx awesome bash at the skate park, unfortunately we did end up chewing up a pinion, so this is the pinion that came out of this thing. You can see how chewed up that is. So I've replaced the pinion on that. Everything else is all good to go. This thing's an absolute beast. You can take the knocks really good, guys. And below it, guys, we've got the Outcast 8S, and this thing was an absolute blast when we had this out at the BMX track last, but we did have some carnage on this thing as well. We did break the rear arm, which is a simple fix. I did manage just to repair that quite quickly and easily. The pin was slightly bent. I've just bent it back into shape. That's all good. But the main problem with this, guys, was the steering. It wouldn't turn left, and I had to strip it all down once I've got it home and just investigated that, and it turned out to be this thing here. This is the culprit. This is a 15 tooth servo horn, and I don't know how well you can see that we have lost a tooth on it. It is plastic and it is quite expected. Unfortunately, there isn't a metal replacement for this. It is just a plastic replacement, so I've got another one in there for now. Cheap and cheerful. Hopefully it'll do the job for a little while. Another problem that I did have with this thing as well, guys, the ESC was playing up on it as well. It wouldn't reverse when it was out, so when I've got it home, I've recalibrated and rebound it. Everything seems to be all good. It is driving okay, but I'm gonna have to get this out and give it a good testing to see if that ESC is going to hold up or not. The wheels have been removed on this, and I've just removed them just to give them some TLC. They needed a bit of glue on there, guys. I just wanted to get them all good for the next bash as well, so I've just got them removed. They're drying off at the moment. And then finally, guys, we've got the fire team. The fire team has been an absolute tank. This thing has got all the Basher Queen upgrades on there, and it's got some EXB upgrades along with the Mojave EXB chassis on there, so everything seems to be all holding up quite well. We got a good bash out of it last time we were out. One thing I do want to look at, guys, is the tires on this thing. I do have a set of 6S backflips for this, and I did use them once on this rig. Unfortunately, what was happening is the inside rim was catching on the front arms, and it started digging into the front arms. So guys, I'm gonna have to look at doing some kind of upgrade on there. So anyway, those are the rigs. As I said, today it's a wrenching video on the KRATON 8S. So guys, let's get started. Alright guys, so I've removed all the wheels off the car just to make life a bit easier, and I think quickly show you what I intend to do on this, guys. So I think what we'll do is we'll remove the whole rear section as one complete unit, and to do this, guys, just 4 screws holding this reinforcing bracket at the back here. 4 screws, take that off. Then we've got the top brace, the lower brace as well, just to remove as well, guys. And then we've got 4 screws, I think, underneath, and then this whole rear section should just drop out. So I've removed everything from underneath now, and I did say there was 4 screws. Actually, there's 6 screws that we need to remove, and it's these 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these screws are sort of, you're going to have to take this rear skid cover off to get proper access to it. I mean, my skid cover has ground down quite a lot, so I couldn't get these screws out, so I had to remove this anyway to do that, guys. So as I said, 6 screws, remove them, the whole unit should just fall out then, guys. Once you remove them 6 screws, you should find the whole thing should come apart like that, and you can see the complete carnage that has been caused by our recent outing. Let's just get some of these out. Wow, that's a decent chunk of metal there, guys. So this is what we're going to be replacing this with, and it should just go in straight and it shouldn't be any issues. Alright guys, so what we're going to start with now is we're going to start with stripping this whole system down and putting the new diff housing in place. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just going to remove the screws off the top of the shocks here so we can just fold the shocks over. And these rear tires, I'm just going to remove them from the tower here and fold them back over as well. Obviously the body posts, we'll remove them, and then the tower itself needs to be detached from the diff housing as well, guys, at the same time. Once we've done all of that, we should just be left with the diff housing with the diff gears inside it as well, guys. So let's get on with it. Alright guys, the old one is pretty much stripped down. All we've got left is this front hinge pin brace that we need to remove. So it's just a 2.5mm. Oh, it's a 3mm. So it's they're already loose. And there we have it. That is the rear one, guys. You can see the state of it. Proper ovaled out. So anyway guys, as I said, we've got some proper stuff here, guys. This is a new one. I'm just going to strip it all down, just remove all of these. Okay, so that's the new cover removed, and we've already got some new bearings in here. So guys, it's just a case of rebuilding everything now. So this is the old pinion gear, so we'll get rid of this old bearing if we can. We'll give the pinion a quick clean as well. We'll put these new ones in there. Go straight on. Put the bearing into the new diff housing. Run the dog bone through. And then it's just a case of lining everything up and dropping the little pin back in as well, guys. There we go. And then it's just a case of pulling it back through and pushing it home. And it should sit nice and flush. And then guys, get your C-clip ready, and just pop your C-clip back on. Make sure everything's nicely seated. Oh, it's all good. Then guys, just a case of the reverse now. I'm building everything back up. What I'll do is I will start rebuilding everything, and as soon as I start installing these back into the car, I'll bring you back and I'll show you how I do that. Alright guys, it's partially rebuilt, so we've got all the diff housing and the tower all reinstalled, and we've got the cover on the front. The diff is back in as well, guys. So now it's time to install these awesome custom RC upgrade parts. So we'll start with this. This is the front rear chassis brace, and it does actually say somewhere, there we go, it does actually say there RF, so it's the rear front, and it goes on just like this, and it sits just underneath here with the two screws going straight through. So these are the two screws. I'll take them out of the old one. Oh. Screws like that straight through the front here, and then we put our arms and everything back in. Our pin needs to go back in with the new arm straight through. Once the arm is reinstalled and everything else is reinstalled, then we go ahead and then we put this hinge pin back in, and this one goes this way around and holds the pin in place, and then the two screws go in the front here, guys. So I'll just go ahead and carry on rebuilding everything. We've got this arm that needs to be replaced, and that pin has seen better days as well. It's almost an S shape, guys. So replace the pin, replace the arm, put everything onto the new arms, and then reattach everything just as it was. So guys, I'll get all that done off camera to save some time, and I'll be back with you shortly. Alright guys, there you have it. It's all rebuilt now. So we've got the brand new arm on here. We've got a brand new pin in there as well. The custom RC upgrade hinge pin carriers on the rear. So the rear is quite simple, just 2 screws, and make sure your pins are in, and it should be all good. The front does look quite simple. It was quite simple, there wasn't any issues at all. The only thing we got to make sure is your screws are in, and you don't over tighten any of these screws, because they're going straight into plastic and it's very easy to strip them out. And once they are stripped, guys, that bulkhead is useless, unfortunately. So everything else is all good, so it's just a case of putting this back onto the car. So that shouldn't be too difficult. Same process again, but this time guys, I will be installing this beauty here. Can't wait to test this thing out. So I will bring you back to show you how to install that. It looks quite straightforward, but other than that guys, let me get this back onto the car. I'll be back with you shortly. Alright guys, she's all back together again. So we've put everything back bar these 4 screws that go here, and I've got a center screw here that holds the chassis brace in place as well guys. So this is the titanium skid plate, and it looks to go straight on top of the chassis, and it looks like the 4 screws line up here, and then we also applied a screw and a nylock nut with this plate guys to go through the center here, and then through the through the chassis brace that's on the opposite side as well guys. But what I'm going to do is I actually got a screw in there already, and I used a slightly longer one, so I'm able to put the nut on top and not find it difficult to do that then. So just a case of putting the 4 screws back in. Make sure it's all sat on properly, and then we've got that center screw left to put in. Probably a little fidgety now, but what I'll do is I'll put the center screw straight through, and I'll put this nylock nut on afterwards. I'll have to use a set of pliers to do that guys, but essentially she's all done, and the only thing left to put back on this thing now is this rear spoiler, which will take 2 seconds. I'll get that all installed. I'm back with you shortly. Alright guys, she's all done. So now we've got the wing back on, we've got the wheelie bar back on, I've got the lights all hooked up as well guys. Check out this new pin brace holder guys, and I'm hoping that this is going to be the solution to all the problems I've been having with this rig. And honestly, I got pretty fed up with this thing, and I was almost about to give up on this. So luckily Leewood had a solution for me. I'm super stoked to get this all installed now. I can't wait to get this thing out and give it a good testing. As I said, I haven't really got through many packs without breaking some pins on this rig. So anyway guys, this here is the other side of that screw that I've put through on the titanium skid plate. It could do with being slightly longer, but what I've done is I've run it all the way through into this brace mount at the back here, so it gives the chassis some bracing as well guys. Another thing that I have done to this, I can't remember if I have told you about it, but I am now running a 27 tooth pinion on here. I think I've still got the stock spur. I think that's a 47 tooth spur on there. This is the RTR Spectrum 8S electronics 160 amp ESC on there. So guys, did have this out last time. I mean, it did perform quite well. I didn't have any kind of thermal issues, but I would like to get this thing out a few more times before I make my mind up on whether I can stick with this 27 tooth pinion on there. To install that 27 tooth, I can only use these two bolts on the top. The one that goes underneath won't go in, and I don't fancy starting cutting it out on my motor mount to accommodate that last screw. So anyway guys, that's going to be it for today, and I hope you found today's video helpful, useful and informative. If you did, make sure you give me a like. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. Until the next time guys, see ya.